Yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fade. You'll listen to Attack of the Beats on IllMuzik.com. 5 beats, 5 reviews. That's what we do. And I just want to make sure everybody's aware that there's a Beat This competition coming up. It's next week. I'm going to announce it this week, but it's next week. And now, of course, if you haven't seen yet, there's the Battle League page, or the Beat Battles page. So when you go there on the main one, you can look to the bottom. You'll see the schedule for the battles that are coming up for the Beat This and the Warzone and all that stuff. So yeah, it's good to check that out. I'm going to try to put up as many as I can, but I don't want to go too far ahead. But still, you can check that to see what's happening. All right, so first up, we've got Armani with Arvin versus Armani. All right, let's check it out. Right. Okay, so that was Armani with Arvin versus Armani. All right. So what I like about this is that it sounds like you're experimenting with the sound. You know what I mean? Like you're just trying to do something different, especially when you have that pattern that's like a non-typical pattern. So it sounds like it's kind of off, but it's not. I guess it's just the way you play certain things, like a cymbal crash or whatever. But it did sound good. And what really stood out to me was the mix. That's what really stood out to me, because it just sounded nice and clean. It was well done. The only thing is that I just wish you had more instrumentation in it. Like I know you have like some strings in there and stuff, but just something kind of fill the void, you know, in the main parts. Just something like a little more extra, just to give it like more of a, just more of a melody or whatever. So, but still, for what you have though, it does sound good. It's a very clean mix. That's what really stood out to me. So good job on that. But still, I like the fact that also that you're trying to do something different here. So it's not the typical type of beat that we would hear. So props for that. All right, so next up we've got Cool J with Trade Secret. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was a Cool J with Trade Secret. So this is interesting because right off the bat, I'm thinking, oh, okay, he's got it in stereo, but I realized like how you panned it, because what's interesting about mixing is, you could go about it so many different ways, and when it comes to panning, it's not just about panning left and right or whatever. It's just you got to find that sweet spot for every sound. Okay, no matter where you put it and all that. But what you did was you have like hard left, hard right. So by doing that for the whole mix, you've got this big void right down the middle. So it's kind of hard to hear everything the way you did that, So it's too bad because the beat does sound good. It sounds like a nice bouncy beat. It's just that, like I said, there's that gap down the middle. So it's just too bad that you don't have it like more like stuff down the middle. Let's say your drums, for example, put that down the middle, maybe the bass line down the middle. Then the other stuff you could, you could pan left and right and all that stuff, but still not really like hard left, hard right. So it's hard. Like sometimes I want to pan something really, really hard left, let's say, and I don't because it just sounds way off to me. It sounds like it's like too far from the middle, right? Too far from the mix. So, I usually just go at like, kind of like a 15-degree type of thing, right? So try something like that, but still, as far as this is concerned, though, I think maybe you should just start with like the basics, like the drums and bass right down the middle, So try that because it's too bad because I want to hear the beat as is, It does sound good. It's just that because of the panning, it just throws me off, and it leaves that gap down the middle. So, but just fix the panning, man. That's all it is. All right, so next up we've got Fury Beats with Tomorrow Comes Again. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Fury Beats with Tomorrow Comes Again. Now, I'm going to say like the opposite of what I was just saying with the previous beat is that I think for this one, you're like the whole mix is down the middle, like it's center, so maybe you should try with like leave everything as is, but then that Rhodes, which sounds really good, that Rhodes, make that stereo. So not like hard left, hard right, but just make it stereo so it just makes it wider, the sound, because the whole mix right now, it just sounds kind of closed in. So you need something. It doesn't have to be all the instruments, but just something like the Rhodes, which is the lead, have that, just give more space, like have it spread out a little more and stuff. And I think that would make a big difference because the beat is nice. It's really good. I like the Rhodes, the laid back drums and all that, the bass, everything just fits real nice. I just think for the mix, it's a little too, like on the mono side, let's say. So again, just, something like the Rhodes, just spread it out a little more in stereo. And I think that would be a big difference with the mix. But for the beat itself, it does sound good. It's just the mix needs a bit of change, and that's it. All right, so next up we've got No Nonsense Beats with I Feel Your Pain. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was No Nonsense Beats with I Feel Your Pain. Now, with this one, it's too bad because I was hoping you'd bring in some other stuff. You know, when you have that synth horn, whatever you have there, when you do stuff like that, like, that's the thing with virtual instruments is that it could sound cheesy or it could sound really good. You know, in your case, it's in the middle somewhere. But I expected you to bring in at least some bass, right? So like a bass line or whatever. But when you have a pattern like that, especially with a sound like that, it's not going to sound cheesy as long as you layer it with other stuff. So again, once you brought in the drums, it started to sound better. But then once you bring in a bass line, it would sound even better on that. And then maybe some strings, some piano, some guitar, whatever. As you start layering different virtual instruments, well then, it's kind of like mask this. This will end up kind of like, just kind of like in the mix somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's too bad that you didn't add other instruments because that would have made a big difference. But for what you have here, I mean, it does sound like a good starting point. That's why I just kept listening and thinking like, well, where's the other stuff? So, but yeah, try to bring in some other stuff because that would definitely make this sound better. And of course, bringing in other instruments, you'll have a full track. It'll sound a lot like brighter, a lot more like life to it and stuff. But for me, this is more like a starting point. It's good. It's just you got to start adding a few more things, and I think it'll just sound a lot better. All right, so next up we've got the last beat. It's On a Calf with Lead This Town, a Low-File Tale, Part 2. All right, let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was On a Calf with Leave This Town, a Lo-Fi Tale Part 2. I want to hear Part 1, hear what that sounds like, but this is good. I like this because at first I was thinking, oh, okay, it's just going to be this lo-fi type beat, whatever, but then the fact that he brought in those vocal snippets, that really brought life to it, I find. And what was interesting too is that even the drums as well, like they sound lo-fi too, right? They're not like not warped or whatever, but they sound lo-fi. They sound like they've been on a cassette or something. Like maybe you did dump it onto cassette or a plug-in or something, but still, it does sound good. It all mixed together, because I have heard some lo-fi stuff where it's like you got like this warped keys or whatever, but then the drums are a little too clean. You know what I mean? So in your case, you kept everything kind of dirty and dusty and stuff. So that's what's really stood out for me. But still, it's just a nice beat. I like it. It's just a nice vibe to it. And like I said, the keys, the drums, the vocal snippet, very, very good. I want to hear the Part 1, man. You gotta send me that Part 1 or send it in. I'll try to check that out. Or maybe there is no Part 1. Maybe Part 2 means you just letting the listener, just think about it and decide like what does Part 1 sound like. I don't know. But still, this is good. It's dope. I like it. And yeah, all right. So that's it for me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attack of the Beats. Keep sending your beats in. I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is, the winner is, drum roll please. On a Calf with Leave This Town, a Lo-Fi Tale Part 2. Let's check it out.